I see you. Your eyes. Your hands. Your chips. Everything. So I don't need to see your cards. We play at fulltailpoker.com.
This is Diego Cortez.
Adam Schoenfeld.
With another edition of The Scoop.
Another hit show.
The Scoop brought to you by Full Tilt Poker. We have a young gentleman named Carter King, young gentleman from the South, and he's been very successful online. I suspect he's going to have a lot of success in live tournaments as he starts to play more, but he's made over $2 million in online tournaments alone. Right. So that speaks for itself, and we're going to get to go.
A headline maker.
I was impressed reading an interview after one of your online tournament triumphs in which you extolled the virtue of patience. And obviously you have to be aggressive, and you haven't won big tournaments without aggression, but it seems like that's sometimes an overlooked aspect of what contributes to success.
I just, what I do for myself to make it easier is I repackage it under a different name. I just say, avoiding variance. And then it sounds very intellectual and smart, and then it's just
cool,
the same
not
thing.
Too
yeah.
dorky.
Now it sounds like an internet poker term.
Yeah, it's a concept.
instead of just like something that makes sense logically.
In what sense? I mean, you can't be too patient, especially online, obviously. Right. But what would be some areas where people are not patient enough, or where maybe other people are missing situations?
Well, I think the two most common mistakes are either opening with marginal hands in early position, and when you're not deep enough to do so, and then reshoving just way too light on people in spots where there's like never folding, and where you can wait and find a better spot. Like shoving ace-x versus an early position raise is just kind of silly for 20 big blinds. Stuff like that.
Still doing that.
Yeah, and stuff like where people do that, where it might be a plus EV move, but I think the variance of the play is just not worth it.
You mentioned 20 big blind stacks. Do you think that's? I think that's a real inflection point where people do either lose all patience or sometimes don't know to snap off someone who's lost the patience. Do you think that's a crucial?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually just discussing this exact same thing the other day, and it's really right around there where people, like, you can find who's a good tournament player, who's not, who's going to be playing those stack sizes properly and taking advantage of their situation. Because you do have like some advantages to that stack size, though they do seem few, but mostly in your ability to force other people into situations they don't want. And if you can do that, and you can remain patient, I think it's a spot we can easily double up, and then you can start running over the table.
Some people advocate open shoving basically any two cards with 20 big blinds. Not that you're going to do it every time, but
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
I like doing it with marginal hands in situations that I think it's the best play. For instance, if everyone behind me is a good solid player, like I'm on the button, and the two players behind me both have 20 big blinds, they're good solid players, they're going to be putting me in a tough spot by reshoving light. And I have a hand like pocket fours. Like, I don't want to raise call there, so I'm going to open shove and just make the unexploitable play. And then, obviously, once I start doing that, I'm going to start trying to balance that range versus good players who are going to be like, well, they realize I'm shoving all my marginal hands here, and I'm going to mix in some premiums, hopefully, and occasionally it's snapped off light. And I think doing it with your marginal hands in spots where you'd be put in an actually higher variance play by having to raise call in the same spot. I think by avoiding that situation, it's much more profitable.
The dream spot, I think, is when you've opened, you've shoved light a couple of times, right, and now you have kings. I mean, because
exactly.
The third time is when they make the stand on you quite often.
Well, maybe now it'll be the reverse psychology. It's like watching online where Lex Velters was playing in the World Series,
right,
and he kept bluffing people, and he kept showing, and I just thought, showing generally is going to lead to setting up for the real hand, or now people are really going after you. But in this case, I think it was reverse psychology. Like, he's not going to really bluff a 5th time. He's not going to really bluff a 6th time. So it could be the reverse psychology where you keep moving in and they're like, okay, this time you really must have it after the other times, and they still aren't calling you. And now you've built up such a stack that now they really don't want to call you.
Right. I mean, especially in the term like the main event where people just, they don't want, like, this, you just don't want to stack off with the marginal hand. So you just wait and you wait, and he keeps chipping up.
The longer they wait, the worse it's going to get.
I felt, after I watched Lex's performance this week, I felt super fortunate that I didn't run into a guy like that in the entire main event. Now, I made it through, halfway through day 3, but that's a nightmare because usually you're not going to find someone that good just running over the table. What was your experience this year?
My day 1 table was pretty tough. I had Michael Katz, Sloppy Klodnicki. I had Jeff Madsen for a while, Labarsky, the blind fellow, Hal Labarsky. And then some other random full tilt pro. I have no clue who he was from Brazil. Who played pretty well though. And it's a pretty tough table, I thought, overall for day 1. And I actually did very well. I got up to 170K at the end of the day. So
was it a case where the conventional wisdom is day 1, you want to be more patient and careful, and you exploited that, or?
Well, I had this kid cold 5-bet king 9 as my ace king, and I had to make it's still a pretty big call because it's 100 big blinds. And then I had Leaf Force, the kid who he called over 3-bet with ace 5 suited and flopped top pair and a flush draw versus my top 2, and we got it in. I made a big hold, and just like that, I have 100K, and then I don't even know after that.
Kept going.
Now, if let's say I got put at the table with you in the main event, if you didn't say your screen name, I probably wouldn't recognize you because I hadn't met you until today.
Right.
So, do you try to fly under the radar in that sense? Because if you told me your screen name, I know who you were. Do you let people know who you are? Or do you just?
Well, I usually have my card runner's gear on, which I'm supposed to be wearing today, but
good job.
We'll have to, but I mentioned it, so that's all right. But no, so I usually have that on, so people will want to ask who I am a lot, and I don't mind people knowing who I am. I'd rather not guess who knows who I am, who doesn't. That's my southern coming out of me. but yeah, especially when I have a lot of young people at my table who might know who I am. I'd much rather discuss screen names and just be like, and try to get something from them.
At least figure out who they are. Yeah, it's an exchange. Well, the card runner's gear is gonna give it away early on. Do
you play a lot of live events? Because I think of you as mainly an online champion.
I am mostly an online player. I do like playing live. I just I hate traveling. I am the biggest wuss when it comes to flying, which is part of the reason why I moved to Vegas, moved out here, so I can at least pick up a few more live tournaments a year. Just very closely around this area.
I mean, you've had a lot of success. You won a Sunday Million recently, and you won the World Championship of Online Poker, the Poker Stars,
defending WCOOP champion,
which is a big deal. But also a lot of other. I mean, you're in action a lot, and you've won a lot of smaller tournaments and such. Do you play live as well, or not live, but cash games as well? It seems like you're really.
I play live cash. I play a lot of. Ever since I moved out here, I've been playing 10-20 at the Bellagio a couple days a week.
But you're not one of these guys online with 30 screens playing all the.
I tell you what, I've gotten to the point now where I'm just a little bit burnt out online, to be completely honest, and so I'm really looking forward to playing a lot live now and and doing that, just because after a while it just I don't know, I get tired of playing in my own home, I guess.
And that's called for different strategies at all, or
yeah. And I think that's the best part about it is it's kind of learning a new game again, and only this time I don't suck at it quite as much to start. So.
You have a better bankroll to start, and you have a better foundation.
So the WCOOP is coming up. You're the defending champion. There was like a big to-do in that event because of the chop. Can you just run us through what happened there?
Basically 5-handed, we decided to talk about chop, and I knew once we were going to start chop, AJK Hoosier, who's the short stack.
Alex Camberos.
Short stacks don't get as good a deal in the. Short stacks don't get as good a deal in the chops usually. So I knew, especially with this skill, he's going to be asking for a lot of money. I was just looking to get around where my expected value was as far as ICM and chip value, which is basically what I got. So I was pretty much happy with what I got.
You were in the middle at that point.
Yeah, I was getting about 50,000 less than my I was supposed to, but I actually looked at the numbers long, so I thought I was going to 50,000 more. So as far as I was concerned, I was like, shut up and be happy. But I was actually screwing myself a little bit because Liberace, the player who ended up getting the most money, was willing to give up quite a bit. But I guess I didn't really, I don't know. $1 million guaranteed.
I'm not beating you up for this.
No, trust me. It's something I question myself about if I should have gone for more, because my general philosophy in chops is to be kind of aggressive in the chop and try to get as much as I think I can. But that's a spot where I felt like locking up that money was worth it to me at the time.
You know, you said that your hallmark is reducing variance. So
Right.
if that's now, you probably wouldn't do this in a much smaller tournament, but there's so much money at stake there. I mean, and
So
in the heat of the moment.
How did it become a?
Well, I think Alex
incident?
like really super
He's like
aggressively got-
I'm the best player here. I know I am, and I want more.
and he got more.
And he got more.
Well,
Good for him. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean
he was vindicated in
it's
that.
when another guy came in and started asking for more that I chimed up and I was like, listen, don't push your
you
luck.
drew, you drew the
Right.
line there with the
Yeah.
one.
It was like it was some guy who got on a free roll. I was like, come on, I know you got on a free roll. Let's take our stars and take $800,000.
Thanks for joining us on The Scoop, brought to you by Full Tilt Poker. And we've enjoyed our time with Carter King. We're going to bring him back
so enjoyable.
for a second installment, just like The Godfather Part 2. We're going to have The Scoop with
Carter King Part 2.
I've seen just about everything. Seen queens overthrow kings, and straights flushed away. I felt the sweat after every re-raise, and nearly buckled after bad beats. Seen rags lead to riches, and witnessed countless miracles on the river. So if you want to play, take a seat and show me something I haven't seen. We play at fulltiltpoker.com.